Insurance is a significant overhead for businesses operating a fleet of commercial vehicles. Apart from the legal obligations, insurance is a necessary investment to ensure that vehicles get back on the road as quickly as possible and interruption to business is minimised. That's why we spoke to Cooke Mason plc, a chartered insurance broker with over 35 years' experience in the insurance of haulage and logistics businesses. We spoke with their director and head of claims, David Lamping, who has worked for hauliers throughout the UK, resolving their claims and managing their risk exposure. David gave us some insight into how insurance premiums are calculated and some advice on how to manage the costs involved.
Well, the good news is that it isn't rocket science. Basically, the lower the risk that you present to the insurance company, the lower the premium that they will charge you. Insurance companies measure risk in several ways. The number of claims that you have, the frequency that they occur, the nature of the claims. Are they crashes on motorways, accidents in car parks, and of course the monetary value, the actual cost of them. When you're running a large fleet of vehicles, it's simply not possible to avoid having collisions, road accidents. It can't be done, but what you can do is proactively manage the consequences of those things to minimise the costs. Please bear in mind that costs go straight to the bottom line of the insurance company's accounts. So they're going to get everything back that they spend, plus the profit element. And so that's reflected in your future premium calculations. If you just pause for a moment and think about what you can do to stop claims happening. And a good place to start with your thought process is to analyse your previous claims. This works for fleets of all size. Larger fleet operators have scope to analyse a wide range of accidents and a longer history. For example, if when you plot things out you find some contracts produce more claims than others, or when you examine the stats, is a particular driver an issue? Or are you having a high number of accidents in a certain location? Once you know what the problems are, where they're occurring, when they're occurring, it's easier to do something about it. The single most important tool that we as your insurance brokers have in conjunction with yourselves is accident reporting. It's essential that your drivers are well briefed on what to do and, more importantly, when to do it. It's rather a cliche to keep saying time is of the essence, but in this case it really is. The days when you could sit on these things for a couple of weeks are gone a long time ago. We need to know straight away, preferably from the scene of the accident. The faster you notify it to us, the more effective we will be. Simply ask the driver to call your insurance broker from the scene. If he hasn't got all the information, don't worry about that at all. You'll be surprised how much information they will actually have. I cannot stress this enough. The sooner the driver calls us, the sooner you will have your vehicle back on the road. And, equally importantly, the sooner we will be on top of controlling the third-party costs to hold them down. That really does affect your future premiums. An element that you should consider is how you select, recruit and train drivers. It's all about driving, and a good recruitment process is the key to selecting safer drivers. It doesn't have to be terribly sophisticated, but I do recommend that you do have at least some form of assessment of the driver's personality. They will tell you if that he has the right attitude. The other thing that you must do, and these days it can't be ignored anymore, are take up references and do the licence checks. If you have a goods in transit claim, your customer's goods have been damaged or lost, and you need to make an insurance claim to support your relationship with your customer, then the first thing the investigating loss adjuster will ask for are the driver's references. Any sort of road accident will result in the insurance company asking for the driver's driving licence. You absolutely need to do those checks. The driver that's had a settled period of employment, doing a decent job with a quality, well-known haulage firm, and you all know each other, will tell you that that's probably the type of driver you want to be recruiting. The other thing is, we all talk about driver CPC, It's not enough to pay lip service to it. This is a valuable opportunity, and the driver that actually applies himself to his CPC does improve and is a better asset to your business and can assist in holding down your premiums. The other aspect that I think is really worth doing is to give a driver at the end of the interview process, if you're thinking of employing him, give him a road test. Tells you a whole raft of information about how he actually drives when he's being observed. Look at technology as well. How we monitor driver. Telematics is very popular because it tracks the location of the vehicle, its movements, the status at any one time, and the way that the vehicle's been behaved. Does it brake sharply, corner sharply, accelerate harshly? Which tells you a lot about how it's been managed. I'm going to borrow a quote from ROSPA, and they say that telematics can potentially help people to significantly improve their driving and reduce risks of crashing by identifying risky types of driving, such as sharp acceleration or braking, speeding and sharp cornering. That's a valuable nugget of information from ROSPA, and armed with such information, fleet managers can target training and work with drivers, helping them to improve in those areas. I'm about to talk about health and safety, and I can outwardly hear people groaning, but it is worth looking at. It's part of an integrated programme. It goes with the risk management, and a small investment in health and safety can pay huge dividends later on. It can lower the insurance costs over a relatively short, medium period of time. Audits properly applied of existing policies and procedures, identifying the strengths and weaknesses of the operational elements of your business that relate to health and safety practice, and where necessary, focusing this down into simple, concise, clear policy documents, risk assessment, safe systems of work, which can be clearly understood and put into practice by the operators. Apart from the risks of actually physically driving the vehicle on the road, we mustn't lose sight that there is a significant exposure during the loading and the unloading of vehicles. These are essentially employers' liability claims, and we see drivers injured all the time, jumping from cabs, falling from flatbeds, trying to lift and move a heavy tarpaulin cover. And if you were visited by a claims investigator, would you be able to show that you had in place the procedures that demonstrate that you're carrying out a safe system of work and that the drivers have had adequate training? Just let me talk to you for a minute about using a specialist insurance broker. And I also think that that's what you'd expect me to say, but it is a very important point. You need an insurance broker that's properly focused in the haulage and logistics industry. He can work with you to tailor a policy that is particularly right for your individual business. And whilst hauliers do similar things, you're all each individual businesses that operate in an individual way. That's the focus to get to reducing your premium. By integrating your health and safety programme, a specialist insurance broker will get an insurer to focus on the future claims rather than the history, even if that history may not be so well. There's a positive side that you've got to tell the insurer. So if you may not have the most constructive history, if you can tell them you're going to have a good future because you've integrated a lot of changes together, that can work to reduce your claims. The other area that the insurance broker works well in is to search the market for the best options. They will get the best rates that are available in the market because they deal with those insurers every day and they have a large amount of business to place with them, which makes it attractive, and your business sits within an attractive large basket. But each individual business is individual, and a good insurance broker tailors the programme to the individual business.